I had a million, zillion, bajillion business ideas. And this is kind of the context, the framework in my mind for how I chose which one to do and how I chose one that, in my experience and opinion, ultimately worked. Like, it's working so far. This is a part of my series, so if you want to watch the other ones, you should. It's in my playlists about me starting my first creative business and building my creative career. I always have 1,000 bazillion ideas, and I love all of them because I'm like, wow, gap in market, like that would be so sick. Or I see the brand, I have a great name, like I can see how I can do this, or I would be really good at doing this. And sometimes I have so many ideas that it slows me down, because what happens is I start doing multiple projects at the same time instead of focusing on one thing, finishing one thing, and then going on to the next, testing one business, seeing if it works. If it fails, next, try again. And because I'm kind of like about all my ideas, like a buzzing bee, I noticed that I'm not as successful as I potentially could be had I just stuck with it and like tried it through. So I think it's really important to, first of all, as my first tip, pick one and start it and try it until you cannot try it anymore and you've done everything you possibly can. And if you've done everything you possibly can and it's still not working, then it's like, okay, next, let's redirect. But in terms of actually picking that first idea, and I need to learn to talk to camera instead of just screaming and looking away. First, I considered, like, what are the resources and skills that I already have? Actually, this is not the most important thing. I think the most important thing is passion and, like, caring about what you're doing. But what resources and skills do I actually have? How much money is this, like, how much money do I need to invest in this idea? Do I have that money? And is this something that I have the skill set to do right now? Because I think I've had a lot of business ideas that were very like startup-y or like techy, because I was working in tech for a moment. And yeah, maybe it's a brilliant idea, but if you don't have the skill set to do so, or the money to do so, or I am not really good at seeking grant funding or VC, like it's just not my world. If you don't have the skill set of like selling your idea and really believing in it that hard without any resources or skill set to do so, for me, it was more important getting on the ground, getting in front of people, getting real feedback from real people as soon as possible. So I would say, like, out of my ideas, I looked at them and I'm like, okay, this is a tech project that is going to take millions of dollars, and developers, I don't know how to code. This is like a service business that requires multiple expensive equipments and skills and things that I physically, like labor, that I don't have the bandwidth or financial security to support. This business is gonna require insurance and a lawyer and structure and things that I don't know anything about because it's my first business. My postcard business, I built a product, I did the art myself, and I went outside and had people write postcards as soon as possible, immediately. And I tested the idea. I said, this is an MVP. Do I think it's a brilliant idea to make millions and billions of dollars? No, I'm selling postcards. I'm not selling postcards. There's a whole experience and a model behind it. But I knew on the front end, like, okay, maybe this isn't the smartest, most strategic business in terms of profits or margins, but it is a gap in the market that I do have the skill set to provide and that I can go out there and do right now. Like, I can go to markets, I can set myself up on the street, I can set myself up with an outreach system or speaking to my direct network of people that would be interested in providing this type of experience. Oh, this guy's biking and he has a speaker. Those are things I can do. I know so much about fucking USPS and the post office. I talk like this. I notice myself talking like that. It's something I already do in my life. Like, I send postcards. I'm a traveler. I'm a journaler. I love a handwritten note. I love a sticky on the counter with a sandwich, packing a lunch and giving it to your little brother. That's always been my thing. I've always been someone who sends postcards as I go around the world on my adventures. And I've always been somebody that likes to archive and document with pen and paper, especially in this hyper-digital age. That was a natural drive and passion. I don't know why I'm going on my computer because I had no bullets ready for this. That was a natural drive and passion that I had already. And I felt like as I've gone through the first 6 months of my business, that was the only thing that really kept me going. Because in moments where I'm like, fuck, I don't want to create content for this, like, I'm tired, I'm burnt out, girl, I was in Portugal anyways. I was gonna send a postcard anyways. It was actually a funny moment with my friends. Like I went with 4 other girls, and they're all cute and aesthetic with their cute dresses, and we're in Portugal, and I had bought a bunch of postcards, and I was writing postcards myself, and they were like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. Then everyone's hype on the idea. Everyone wants to send postcards, and I'm like, you know what? I can take a couple snapshots. Like, that's easy. This angle's not really doing justice, to be honest. But whatever. Yeah, so I would pick something that, one, you have the resources or skills to achieve. Like, you can go out right now and start. And 2, that you have a natural drive or skill set around. So either you're really good at something and you can provide that as a service, or you do something that you love so often that it just comes natural to you to like bring that experience to other people. Because I'm someone that gets so excited about all these different ideas, another thing that was really helpful for me was saying to myself, picking one idea doesn't kill all the rest. I can pick one now and I can come back later and try another. If this one is successful, that's great. Then I have resources to then go back and try another and build out my portfolio and experiment with different projects. I think as a creative person and as an artist and as someone that's very entrepreneurial and driven, I get heartbroken almost by the thought of marrying one idea and ditching all the rest, and just reminding myself that anything is possible. You have time, and if you use your time effectively now, you'll have more time in the future to experiment with all of your ideas instead of just limiting yourself to one. And when an idea passes and I'm like, okay, I don't want to forget this, I need to do it now, I remind myself, okay, write it down. You have an idea library, and it'll come back to you in a moment that is more resonant with the environment and the culture around you that needs it, and more resonant with you as a person and as a founder in terms of your resources, whether that's time, money, attention, or I already said money, skills, to be like, basically there will become a time in your life where you are better equipped to do that idea in the future, and just because you're picking a different idea right now doesn't mean all the other ideas are dead. Another important thing that helped me choose the one that was best was the timing. I kind of already touched on this, but like the timing and speed of how fast I could get it to market. The faster you get to market with an MVP, the faster you can get feedback from real people. I knew this project, I could get it in front of people immediately, almost immediately. And to me, as somebody that was still picking, it's my first business, I'm still learning, that was really important, because you can do all the market research in the world, but until you actually build your ability to sell, build your confidence in getting out in front of people and getting feedback and getting rejected and like going to places, doing door to door, and them saying, no, we don't like it. Until I could get that experience under my belt, it doesn't matter if the idea was shit or amazing, I needed to get out there in front of real people quickly. So, which leads me into my next thing about product market fit. The speed at which I was able to get my MVP out then was able to support me in being aware of my product market fit and being aware of, every time I get a text, I'm like, get out of my way. Being aware of like, will this be successful? Because the only way you're gonna know is this gonna be successful is once you see how people respond to it. And my suggestion there is just like getting out into the world and seeing how people respond to it as soon as possible. I have more tips and I didn't write them down, so I don't know what else right now. I'm kind of just ranting at the camera. Oh, last thing before I end the video. Think of something that you want to do for a long time. You are going to be spending hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on this, and if it's not something that you love and it's not something that you enjoy, and not something, like, think about the ugliest parts of building a business. For me, one of the ugliest parts is social media, to be honest. Love you guys, but social media is hard for me. Is this something you could make hundreds of posts about? Hundreds of posts talking about? Hundreds of posts, like, being, like, not selling, but marketing your product for? Is this something you would enjoy doing the accounting for, looking through all of your finances and feel excited about those numbers? Or is this something that's like, realistically it's a good idea in theory, but on the day-to-day I'm not gonna care? Looking at something realistically and like reflecting, like, hey, is this something that I'm willing to do the ugly, unsexy parts for there's a lot of unsexy parts to business. There's a lot of parts that are not fun. Does the idea and the world around this product or around this experience or around this service entice me enough that I'm going to be willing and excited to spend hours and hours and hours on it? All right, that's it for now. I'll come with more. I'll get better at storytelling and better at positioning. I say that in every video, but I really just do feel like it's my weakness. And I also want to talk less. I feel like I scream at the camera sometimes, and when I watch videos, I really resonate with people that speak in a way that's like, oh, this is my experience, very lighthearted, very welcoming, and very comforting. And I think sometimes I get passionate and excited to be talking, and then instead of having a welcoming energy, I have a very demanding energy, and I do not know best. So there's no reason for me to be like preaching or lecturing. It's very much just me getting excited. And yeah, in the future, maybe I'll come with a calmer tone that has a feeling of more wisdom instead of chaos, but not yet. Love you guys. Have a great day.